So I'm sure you're looking at the video title and you're like, what are you talking about? So let me explain because, I was confused at first too. So I was just going through YouTube, like we all do. And in my recommended videos, this video popped up called Saitama is homeless because he can't pay his rent, Genos versus Lord of Mountains. And it had 2.8 million views in 1 week. And I was like, what? Why? What is going on here? Is that really that intriguing of a title? Like Saitama is homeless because he can't pay his rent. I mean, it's like 2.8 million people. Ooh, interesting. I mean, sure, click on it, but you'd expect like a video like this, I don't know, you like 30,000 views or something. And I knew that this was going to be the Road to Hero OVA, and that's what it is. But also, as I watched the video, I realized that it is not only just that, but it is also the second season's first OVA and the second season's third OVA as well. And they're all chopped up to fit into a nice, compact 13-minute video. And then it dawned on me, it's like, oh, okay, because like it's very watchable. We all have short attention spans, and also a lot of people probably haven't seen these OVAs before. So the casuals coming into this video are watching it, and they're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I haven't seen this before, and it's chopped up, to get the plot across very quickly, so they're going to keep watching it, and then it comes to, Season 2, OVA 1, so they're just going to keep watching because, oh, this is another episode, and then it comes on to, the third of the Season 2 as well, and then they're going to keep watching. So now this video has crazy watch time, and it has spread like wildfire. At least that's what the conclusion that I have come to why this video has gone viral so quickly. But then I figured, let me explain what's going on in it as well, because the video itself doesn't really do a good job of expressing the statement that it puts forth here with Saitama's homeless because he can't pay his rent. And it's like, why? And if you watch this video, you're not going to find out. So let me tell you right here. Okay, so after Saitama encounters Crablante, he has the whole paradigm shift in his life. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to be an aimless salary man. I'm just, I'm going to live off of the land here. I'm going to do heroism as a hobby, even though it's pretty much my career, but I'm going to say that it's a hobby, and I'm going to devote my entire life to becoming stronger, just like straight up artist style. Like, he's just gone full-blown, no essentials left. He's just squatting now. Like, I guess in their world, they have some different squatting laws, I suppose, than our own. So Saitama can just stay someplace, and it's, like, all good. And he still gets electricity and everything. And water, too, so whatever. But before that, he kind of just goes around and trying to squats from place to place because he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any money. He's kind of like an artist, trying to grind to the top, or like an athlete, or like even some of us YouTubers have started from nothing, and we just had a ambition, and it just a couple years down the road we got to where we wanted to be, similar to with Saitama, although he did it to an unattainable degree. But anyway, in this OVA, we're getting a rare glimpse of what Saitama's life was like before he became the one above all, and we kind of take that for granted at the start of the series, because if you really get into One Punch Man and you just, follow the manga, follow the webcomic, it's like we don't really get these glimpses after this. So it's like you kind of have to go back to really enjoy them for what they are, because it's super interesting to see, like I said, the one above all in a state where he was like essentially a C-class hero, a broke, struggling artist. But as for the plot of the OVA itself, it's like Saitama meets like this tailor who winds up making his iconic yellow suit, but he's like being strong-armed by like these pseudo-Yakuza dudes who are led by like this big, eccentric crime dude leader. Anyway, it just gets to the point of Saitama, taking them all out and then getting to the leader dude. And once we get there, we get to see, I think, maybe the only time in the series, other than when we see like Garo changing at the end of season 2, where we see a person naturally transform into a monster real time. Maybe there's another instance that I'm forgetting about, but like this is something that we don't typically see. It's kind of just, we're always seeing what's happened after the fact. Like when we see the monsters, they tell us, why they're a monster. I ate too much of this. I did too much of that. Or we just see the monsters and it's just implied that if they were originally human, then they just transformed at some point. We never actually see it happen. But with this dude, he's like on the verge of becoming a monster this whole time, and then Saitama pushes him to basically lose his humanity, I guess, and then the abnormal cell reaction happens and he transforms before our eyes, and it's pretty fascinating. And also, it's always fun to see, like I said, C-class hero Saitama taking on a monster, him struggling and essentially getting the mid to high div victory. So in the end, this OVA is a must watch if you are a One Punch Man fan. This is one of the OVAs that I really feel like paid extra attention to because it is the mythos of Saitama, and obviously I talk about all the time on this channel that One is very protective of Saitama when it comes to like the anime adaptations of it. Like, he's cool with them making alterations to other instances of the story and stuff, but with Saitama, he wanted them to be 100% accurate to who he is as a character. And that brings us to the first OVA of the second season, and in this one, Saitama randomly encounters these 3 dudes who met up on like a forum online, and the forum was for people who were born with special abilities. Like in their world, like like the S-class heroes, or even like the A and the B and the C-class heroes, you could just randomly be born with supernatural abilities. It's just luck of the draw. Similar to My Hero, but how they're like 80% of their population has quirks. In the My Hero world, I would say like, I don't know, 0.2 or 0.5% of the population could be born with supernatural powers. Just the way that things are. It also plays into the whole thing about monsterization, how you can become a monster randomly due to like cellular reaction and stuff like that. It's all tied together, and in the end of the story, we'll find out the origin to all of this stuff. No spoilers, but come on, it's inevitable. Anyway, these guys are some of the rare instances that we see of humans being born with these supernatural abilities that aren't just straight up like established heroes. Like, these guys come across as jokes, and this is a hilarious OVA. It's almost as if One wrote this himself. I'm not sure if he did, but it's just as clever as his writing and just as funny. But these guys' abilities at their core are pretty significant. Like, if they were trained properly or whatever, they would be forces. Like, this one guy can shoot fire from his hands. This one guy can like have ice breath, and then the other guy can like control animals to some degree. So like, imagine if they trained, they could be formidable A-class or maybe even S-class level dudes. But as the OVA goes on, they eventually run into like this comical monster dirt worm. He's literally just like a worm, but I guess he has like demon level strength in the capacity where he can just manipulate soil and stuff, which is interesting because he gets eaten by a bird at the end of this OVA. So it's like he has demon level strength, but like below wolf durability. I don't know, but he's also like survives a punch from Saitama technically, which is funny. So that, other than that, that's just the significance to this OVA. It's just really funny. It's one of the funnier ones for sure. So then we come to the final OVA of this video, and that is OVA 3 of the second season, and this is pretty good too. Not as good as the other ones that we just talked about, but it's not bad by any means. Definitely worth watching. And in this one, we see Saitama accidentally hit Genos with like the slightest nick, and that's strong enough to like short circuit him and give him amnesia, and like his brain like just scrambles between personalities in the beginning of this OVA, and it's very funny. If you're like a Genos fan, you're gonna love this because he acts so out of character multiple times in this episode. It's pretty inventive, and I wish they did this with more characters actually. But it eventually gets to the point where he like tries to be recruited by the Fubuki group because he's not regular Genos. He has like sometimes he has like a real meek personality, and he could be naive or manipulated at that point. And it just basically gets to the point where he runs into the monster of this OVA, we'll say. And this is like a demon, I guess. The Lord of the Mountains, as it says in the title of this video as well. And the interesting thing about this is that this monster also plays into the overall mythology of the One Punch Man world, where it reveals its motivation to be essentially taking revenge on the humans for what they've done to the environment. I'm paraphrasing here, but it says like, I was born out of spite. To take my vengeance, I shall uproot you from your homes. It's going into the motivations that we've heard from multiple monsters throughout the series. And like I said, it's all tying into the ultimate mythology of what is going on within the One Punch Man world and where it is headed and what the origin of it was as well. So that's pretty cool. It's just thrown in there, hiding in plain sight maybe for the unaware. But anyway, another cool thing about this monster is that it can manipulate the weather. I think this is the only monster possibly so far that we've seen with abilities like that. So, that's kind of cool. And then Genos, snaps back to his normal Genos self eventually, and then he gets the win over this Lord of Mountains monster. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the OVAs and this video. If you liked it, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon that gives you access to a weekly Q&A, and if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.